Hello everyone. My name is Emily. Welcome back to the channel. I am so excited that you clicked on today's video. If you are new here, I talk about all sorts of reading that I love to do. I talk about clean reading, Christian reading, anything that comes up in books. That's what we talk about here on the channel. And a lot of middle grade as well. I love working with middle grade. I'm a tutor, and so I want to read what my kids are reading so that I can kind of recommend things for them. In a little bit of a new environment. There's a video coming out on that, so look forward to that. But today, I'm a little bit behind the ball on a couple different things. I haven't filmed in like 2 months, maybe? Something like that. I did a lot of pre-filming for April, but then I just haven't filmed for May at all. It is May like 27th, I think, and I'm just doing April wrap-up. So because this is the end of the month, I'm sort of doing an April wrap-up, May TBR plans for the next 4 days of the month. Because I haven't thought about these books in a month, I may be a little bit rusty for all these April books, but we're just gonna go with it. It's been a crazy month, but I'm grateful to be back. So I'm a little bit rusty, but we're gonna keep going. We're gonna go with it. So the first book that I finished in April was Mrs. Jeffries Takes the Cake. This is an adorable Victorian era mystery series. It is so sweet. We follow Mrs. Jeffries, who is a housekeeper for Inspector Witherspoon of Scotland Yard, and so he's sort of not the greatest inspector in Scotland Yard has ever seen, but because of Mrs. Jeffries and the rest of his staff who work silently behind the scenes, they solve all their cases. This one was specifically about a garden party and someone ate something, if I'm remembering correctly, and they died because of it, and cake was involved, hence the name. And anyway, they're really quick, to the point, wrap up at the end with a bow. Really, really good. I love them. Okay, the next one was The Extraordinary Deaths of Mrs. Kipp by Sarah Brunswald. This is my first Sarah Brunswald. I really enjoyed it. I have some pros and cons. We follow an elderly woman who is dying, and we just follow kind of her life. It's dual perspective, current day when she's in the sort of the facility where she's living out her last days, and then when she's younger, sort of her story, her life during, I want to say, the Vietnam War and kind of the aftermath of that. And then in the current day timeline, when Mrs. Kipp is old, we have a newspaper lady that has been tasked with writing Mrs. Kipp's story. I loved Mrs. Kipp. She was super spunky. She's kind of what I want to be when I grow up. Just super spunky, super like, I'm gonna live life the best I can type of thing. And I loved the young journalist. I struggled, and I'm not in journalism, obviously, so maybe this is the environment, but I felt like some of her coworkers were butts. Like, they were just mean for no reason, I felt like. But like I said, I'm not in journalism. I don't know what that environment is like. Maybe that is more cutthroat than I realize. They show that on TV, at least. I don't know. But the thing that I struggled with just a little bit in this story was the prayers. Now, let me explain. I pray. I believe in praying. I believe in a higher power. I believe in God. All of that. That's not what I have an issue with. I felt like because there was so much prayer from Mrs. Kipp that I felt like I was intruding in on her personal conversation with God. And so because there was so much of it on page, and because I listened to it, it was in the car, because there was so much of it, I started to feel uncomfortable, like I was intruding or that I was hearing things that I wasn't supposed to be hearing. And so that was sort of a hard thing that I was like, okay, yes, we know you're praying, kind of move on with it a little bit, I guess. I don't know. I hope that makes sense. In other books, you know, they say a prayer and blah, 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 and they move on quickly. But this one, I felt like there was just a lot of prayer said out loud. And so it made me feel uncomfortable. Like I was intruding in on someone's personal conversation with God. Okay, the next one was a middle grade, El Nino, Pam Munoz Ryan. This is her newest one. And I love Pam Munoz Ryan. I think she does a really good job of putting in fantastical elements into, you know, modern day stories. So there's that fun little twist at the end. This one is about a swim team. And there are certain fantastical elements where they have to where mer people are involved, and they have to kind of fight different bad guys, things like that, but then they have to come out of it and be human again. It was a little bit confusing, I'm not gonna lie, and I didn't get the title, because El Nino, as part of the story, they were talking about an El Nino coming in, and like that was the name of the hurricane or something like that. I can't remember. It's been a while since I read it, you guys. But anyway, I didn't get the El Nino tie throughout the book. And so anyway, there were just a few things that I felt were inconsistent. Totally a me thing. Really, really good. Like I said, I love the fantastical elements that she throws in there. Sort of the otherworldly things. That was fun. Okay, next one was Daybreakers by Louis L'Amour. I love Louis L'Amour books. I've seen movies. I love Tom Selleck. Oh, love it. He's the only man that can get away with a mustache. And so I listened to it actually as I was painting, as I was redoing my room, as I was doing the base coat of this room. And I loved this story because it was very similar to the Tom Selleck movie. So I felt like I knew the characters a little bit better. I felt like I knew what was happening. And so I felt more invested in this particular Louis L'Amour Daybreakers more than other Louis L'Amour that I've read and has listened to. So that was fun. Okay. This next one. Woman of Oak Ridge by Michelle Shockley. It had all of the things that I thought would be really, really good. And it was really good. I will tell you some spoilers, and I had to vent for a minute, so I'll like put a time code or something on here, or when I'm doing spoilers, if you don't want to listen, if you haven't read it, or if you don't care about spoilers, listen to my rant. But there will be a rant coming up. Okay, Women of Oak Ridge, if I'm remembering correctly, is a dual timeline. Yes, it is. One, during World War II, when there were secret towns here in America that were part of the atom bomb and building the atom bomb, and different locations were building different things, and each location didn't know about what was happening in other parts of the country, but also the plant itself. And this was in Tennessee, I believe. And so I love anything to do with World War II. I love World War II books. And so all of these things was really, really interesting to me. I loved that part of it. And I loved the more modern day timeline. It's our main girl in the 1944, 45 timeline. It's her great niece, some sort of relation. I think it's a niece. And she is doing her like dissertation or something on the effects of that time for people who worked at this secret plant that has now been unsecreted. Yes, I did just make up that word. Okay. I loved the overall idea of this. Now, here's where some spoilers come in, so buckle up or fast forward or whatever you need to do. Okay. By the end, about halfway through the book, the main character, who in the 1940s timeline, she's a young woman, she is working at this plant, she was an idiot. I struggle when women in stories are passive and just let things happen to them. And so this main character has a roommate. The roommate has a boyfriend, and our main character, I can't remember names, does not like this boyfriend. But things happen, things are moving really fast. She tries to, warn her roommate, yeah, maybe he's not the best guy, whatever. Then the roommate ends up disappearing. And our main character gets embroiled into this spy game because the boyfriend is a Soviet Union spy. He's a bad man. He's mean. He's vindictive. He's a butthead. Oh my goodness. It was horrible. But the whole time, I kept yelling in my car as I'm driving and listening to this. I kept thinking, well, if our main character girl would have just given the authorities her roommate's journal where she learned all of these things about the evil boyfriend, she wouldn't have been involved in any of this. Which probably wasn't the point of the book. I get it. Yeah, got it. But it's like, okay, because of that one decision, all of these other things, bad things are happening. And it's like, oh my goodness, come on, buck up, do what you need to do, handle the situation. And I get that you might lose your job, but this is a Russian spy. That's kind of a big deal. And your friend has gone missing and you think she's died. And it's just like, oh my goodness, enough with the passiveness. End of rant. So other than that, I did enjoy the book. Just that part of it really bothered me. I don't do well when, especially the female main characters, are passive and let things happen to them without sort of taking control or coming up with solutions to solve a particular problem. That's a me thing. It was very, very interesting. I loved the history behind it. I loved the idea that there were these secret towns in America. That is so cool. That's such a cool part of our history. And there was just a sprinkle of romance in both timelines. I could have done without that. I didn't feel like it needed it, but it was sort of nice. Okay, that was a fun read. Fun read. Okay, the next one that I read during April is the second book in the, I can't remember the name of it. It is Runaway King. Ouch. Okay. Runaway King by Jennifer A. Nielsen. It's the second in that series. And it was really good. This is technically a reread for me. I want to read all 5 books because I've never read all 5. I just read the first 3. We follow our main character again, and it's hard to talk about what happened here because it's a huge spoiler if you haven't read the series yet, especially that first one. You're just continuing on in what you've learned in the first one, following the same characters, same action. Pirates are involved in this one. Really, really good stuff. I loved it. Fantastic read. Then my last book of April was Peril at End House by Agatha Christie. I love me some Agatha Christie. And this one is a Hercule Poirot mystery. I really liked it. This one, Hercule Poirot gets thwarted a couple of times at the beginning and he takes it personally. And he's like, this is not how Hercule Poirot works, and things like that. And so he's determined to figure out why this new female friend of Hastings and his and Hastings, I can't remember the correct English there. This new friend of theirs is getting shot at, and all of these different happenstances are occurring where her life is in peril. And she lives at End House, hence Peril at End House. And so this new friend has all these things happening to her, and Hercule Poirot is trying to figure it out, but he's getting thwarted and things aren't making sense. And so he's getting a little bit angry at himself because he's not figuring it out normally as fast as he has previously done. I liked it. It ended up really interesting. I didn't see the ending coming, which is always fun when you're reading a mystery. So it was a good month overall, ups and downs. I enjoyed it. Very, very good month of reading. So now we're going to transition into the May TBR a little bit. I haven't read that much. I've been in a weird headspace and a weird physical space with just all the construction and all the moving and end of school, and so things have been very much up in the air. So I read a little bit. My goal for the next 4 days by the end of the month is to finish or catch up on 4 different things. So 2 fiction books that I want to finish. The first one is Fire at the Exhibition. And this is one of my 26 and 2026 books. This is by T.E. Kinsey. It is a Lady Hardcastle mystery series. I love them. Highly recommend every single one of them. I just love the relationship between Flo and Lady Hardcastle. And her name is Emily, so that's a good start. I'm about halfway through, I think. So I just want to finish that up, wrap that up. I would love to get that done in the next 4 days. The other fiction, in this case it's historical fiction, that I would love to finish is This Mammoth. Once again, I am about almost halfway, I think 42% according to Goodreads. This is The Kingdom and the Crown, Volume 2, Come Unto Me by Gerald Lund. This is biblical historical fiction set in the time of Christ during his earthly ministry in Jerusalem, but it's a fictional family that kind of are his followers, and they follow all the 12 apostles, things like that. So I'd love to finish that one as well by the end of the month. One that I need to get caught up in, not finished because this is a year-long read for me, is Don't Miss This in the Old Testament. The Old Testament is my current scripture study for the year. This is by Emily Bell Freeman and David Butler. They're just short little snippets of particular parts of the Old Testament, sort of making it easier to understand, applying it to our lives, things like that. There are questions. It's simple. It's very easy to digest. I just have fallen behind. So I'd love to get caught up with that by Sunday, at the end of the month. And then this one, I can't believe I still haven't finished it. This is from the Daily Grace Company. This is 40 Days with Jesus. I started this during the Easter season, so March, maybe? April? Something like that. It is now the end of May. I need to finish. I am not even close, but I need to finish. I think I'm on day 5, and there are 41 days. I looked. I've got to finish this. So those are the 4 things that I either want to finish or catch up on as my May TBR. We'll see what happens. Stay tuned for the May wrap up, because that will be coming probably here in the next couple weeks. I do have a long car trip that I'm going on this weekend, so I'm hoping to get some more reading done, and hopefully I'm out of my reading slump. I'm calm again. I'm in a better mental space. Everything is good to go. So I can just tell that I'm already excited to read. I have Rosita. This is my chair, my reading chair that's been packed away for the last 3 years. And so it's nice to have my chair back so I can actually read and enjoy, and it's wonderful. Okay, stop rambling. Thank you all for being so patient with me as I haven't put out anything this month. And I will see you guys in the next video very, very soon. Bye-bye.